Ever wonder if like the legal system could actually work for people?
Mm-hmm.
You know, make things simpler, faster, and like fairer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're diving into today.
Okay.
We've got this article, and it kind of paints a picture of how AI could completely transform law over the next like 50 years.
Wow.
It's got it all. Proactive justice, futuristic courtrooms, even AI ethics.
It's a fascinating look at how technology might address some of the biggest criticisms of the current system.
Okay.
The slow pace, the complexity that can be overwhelming,
Right.
and how some communities face systemic disadvantages.
Right. It's not just legal theory. It's about real world impact.
Exactly.
And the article makes it really engaging by telling the story of this lawyer, Alex, who's leading the charge.
Okay.
It's 2025 when she starts out, and she's already got big plans.
It's important to remember the context here. In 2025, the legal system is still largely the same one we know today.
Yeah.
Alex's goal isn't just to make small tweaks. She wants to fundamentally change how we think about justice.
So no more mountains of paperwork and years in court.
It's a pretty ambitious goal.
What are her first steps?
Well, she kicks things off by forming this group called the Justice Collective. Think like a brain trust of lawyers, coders, anyone who wants to use tech to make the law work better.
Okay, so I'm picturing a bunch of people in a room with whiteboards covered in algorithms and flowcharts.
Yeah.
What are they actually working on?
One of their most impactful early projects revolves around this concept of proactive justice.
Okay.
Imagine if, instead of reacting to legal issues after they blow up, we could use AI to, anticipate and prevent them.
Okay, so less putting out fires and more fireproofing the house kind of thing.
Exactly.
Give me an example.
Absolutely. The article uses the example of a small business owner who's about to sign a lease.
Okay.
This AI, trained on tons of legal documents, could flag a clause that's super risky, maybe one that allows the landlord to suddenly increase rent.
That would be a game changer, especially for small businesses that don't always have the resources for big legal battles. They could go into that negotiation feeling empowered.
Exactly. Or think about how this could help level the playing field for individuals, too.
Yeah.
Imagine AI flagging predatory loan terms before someone signs on the dotted line.
Wow.
It could help people avoid financial pitfalls from the get-go.
That's a side of AI in law I hadn't even considered. So it's not just about making courts faster. It's about preventing people from needing to go to court in the first place.
Precisely. And as you can imagine, this idea of proactive justice really takes off. But with any new technology, especially one this powerful, questions start to arise.
Yeah, like who gets to design these systems? How do we make sure they're not biased against certain groups?
Right.
That seems crucial.
You're absolutely right. Alex realizes early on that the success of AI in law hinges on inclusive design. This means making sure the teams building these systems are as diverse as the people they're meant to serve.
So we're talking about bringing together people from different backgrounds, different experiences with the law, different perspectives on how it can be improved.
Exactly. Think about it. If you only have people from elite law firms designing these systems,
their understanding of the challenges faced by everyday people might be limited. By having a diverse team, you get a much richer understanding of the potential biases that could creep in and how to avoid them.
That makes a lot of sense. So it sounds like Alex and her team are really focused on making sure this technology benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Absolutely. And this commitment to inclusivity isn't just some abstract ideal. They're putting it into practice. By 2040, they've helped establish international guidelines for ethical AI development in the legal field.
Okay, so they're thinking big picture, long-term impact. This is about more than just making a quick buck.
Yeah.
But how do you go from these guidelines to actually making the legal system itself more inclusive? That seems like a massive undertaking. It is, and that's where the next phase of Alex's journey takes us. As her vision gains traction, she begins to tackle the deeply ingrained systemic issues within the legal system itself. One of her key focuses becomes making the legal system less intimidating and more accessible to everyone, not just lawyers.
Now, that's an idea I can get behind.
Right.
Because who hasn't felt totally lost trying to decipher a legal document?
Yes.
Right? It's like it's written in a whole other language.
You hit the nail on the head. And Alex believes that technology, specifically AI, can be the key to bridging that gap. She envisions a future where interacting with the legal system is as easy as using your smartphone.
So no more needing a law degree to understand your rights or navigate a legal process.
That's the idea.
Sign me up. But How exactly does she go about making that happen?
It's a multi-pronged approach, and it gets really exciting when we start to see the technology in action.
Okay.
Imagine a world
Let's
where
see a world where.
courts are running 24/7.
Hold on. 24/7 courts. Like, no more waiting around for months for a hearing.
Exactly. Alex realizes that traditional court schedules can be a huge barrier for people with busy lives or, limited resources.
Yeah.
So she champions the development of virtual courtrooms
Okay.
powered by AI that are accessible anytime, anywhere.
That sounds amazing for resolving disputes quickly, but I'm picturing people in their pajamas arguing a case at 3 a.m.
Hmm.
How do you maintain some level of formality and ensure fair hearings in that kind of setting?
Right, that's where the AI comes in, right? It's designed to manage the flow of these virtual hearings, ensuring that, everyone gets their say and the proceedings are conducted respectfully and efficiently. Plus, it can provide real-time transcription and translation, breaking down language barriers that often slow things down.
Okay, so it's not just about being available all the time. It's about making the process itself smoother and more accessible.
Right.
I like it. What else is in Alex's tech-powered legal toolkit?
One of the most transformative innovations is the widespread adoption of smart contracts. Remember those risky lease clauses we talked about earlier?
How could I forget?
With smart contracts, those kinds of loopholes could become a thing of the past. Smart contracts use blockchain technology to automatically enforce the terms of an agreement.
Okay, I've heard of blockchain, but to be honest, I still don't really get it.
Think of it like a digital ledger that's completely secure and transparent.
Yeah.
Once a smart contract is created, the terms are written into the blockchain, and it's virtually impossible to change them without everyone involved knowing about it.
So no more fine print surprises or shady deals slipping through the cracks.
Exactly. It brings a whole new level of transparency and accountability to legal agreements, making it easier for everyone to understand their rights and obligations up front.
That's huge. But with all this talk of efficiency and automation, I have to ask, what about the human element? It seems like we're getting close to a world where algorithms are making all the decisions.
That's a concern Alex takes very seriously. In fact, as AI becomes more integrated into the legal system, she becomes a vocal advocate for what she calls ethics at the core.
So it's not just about making things faster or cheaper. It's about making sure technology is used ethically.
Exactly. One of Alex's key principles is that any AI system used in the legal system must be designed to prioritize fairness over everything else. She firmly believes that technology should be used to augment human judgment, not replace it entirely.
I can see where she's coming from. It seems like there's a lot of potential for bias to creep into AI, especially if the data it's trained on reflects existing inequalities in the legal system.
Absolutely. That's why Alex and her team work tirelessly to develop AI systems that can actually identify and flag potential bias in legal decisions. For example, an AI could analyze sentencing patterns and flag cases where similar crimes resulted in drastically different outcomes based on factors like race or socioeconomic status. These flags wouldn't replace a judge's decision, but they would act as a safeguard, prompting a closer look to ensure fairness.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like having an extra set of eyes and incredibly objective eyes at that to help identify potential blind spots in the system.
Precisely. It's about using technology to make the system more self-aware and accountable. And it doesn't stop there. As technology continues to evolve, so too does Alex's vision for the future of law.
This is already seeming pretty futuristic to me. What more could you possibly come up with?
This is where things get really interesting. Alex begins to explore the concept of a dynamic learning system.
Okay.
Imagine a legal system that's not static, but constantly evolving and adapting to new understandings of justice and societal values.
Okay, now you're talking about a pretty radical shift. How would that even work? Are we talking about AI rewriting the law books on its own?
Not exactly rewriting, but definitely reimagining how laws are applied and interpreted. Imagine an AI that can analyze vast amounts of data, legal precedents, social science research, even public opinion surveys.
Okay.
It could then identify areas where the law might be outdated or where there's a growing consensus that certain actions should be treated differently.
So the law itself wouldn't be written in stone. It would be more flexible and responsive to changes in society.
Exactly. It's a bit like how scientific understanding evolves as new evidence emerges.
Right.
The legal system, in Alex's vision, would similarly embrace ongoing learning and adaptation. Of course, this raises a lot of questions, too.
Yeah, like who gets to decide which societal values the system is adapting to? And how do you prevent those in power from manipulating the system to their advantage? These are some heavy ethical questions.
You're right, these aren't easy questions to answer. And the article doesn't shy away from that complexity. But it does offer a powerful vision of what a more responsive and equitable legal system could look like.
It definitely gives you a lot to think about. We've gone from proactive contracts to 24/7 virtual courts to a justice system that's constantly learning and evolving. What's next in Alex's journey? She's got to be nearing retirement age, right?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But Alex's passion for justice hasn't faded one bit. As we move into the later stages of the article, we get a glimpse into what her lifelong pursuit has achieved and the legacy she leaves behind.
So we're nearing the end of this 50-year journey the article takes us on. What does Alex's vision for the future of law actually look like in practice?
Well, by 2075, the legal landscape has undergone a truly remarkable transformation. The article paints a picture of a world where, believe it or not, legal disputes are often avoided altogether.
Wait, hold on. No more lawsuits. How's that even possible?
It's not that people suddenly stop disagreeing, but the very nature of disagreement has changed.
Okay.
With AI systems proactively identifying potential conflicts and smart contracts, clarifying terms up front,
Right.
many misunderstandings are resolved before they even have a chance to escalate.
So it's about creating a system where people are empowered to find common ground and work things out themselves.
Exactly. The focus has shifted from punishment and litigation to early intervention,
Right.
mediation, and finding solutions that work for everyone involved.
It sounds like we're talking about a fundamental shift in how society views the law, not just as a way to settle disputes, but as a framework for building a more harmonious and just world.
You've hit the nail on the head. And that's precisely the legacy Alex leaves behind. This isn't just about technological advancement, it's about a profound shift in our understanding of justice itself.
I have to admit, it's a bit overwhelming to imagine a future where the law is so deeply integrated with technology.
Yeah.
But it's also incredibly inspiring to think about the positive impact it could have on people's lives.
It certainly makes you question everything we take for granted about the legal system, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It challenges us to imagine a future where justice is more accessible, efficient, and equitable than we ever thought possible.
It definitely does. So for you listening, what stands out to you from this potential future we've been exploring? If you could design one AI tool to make the legal system work better for everyone, what would it be and why? It's a question worth pondering because the future of justice isn't just about algorithms and code. It's about all of us working together to create a world where everyone has a fair shot.